So welcome to a review video by the MXQ project. This is the V88. It's got a Rockchip 3229 processor. It's very cheap, but if you come across it and think maybe give that a go, don't bother, and I want to show you why. So this is the V88 packaging. I want to unbox it for you guys and show you exactly what you get in the packaging. So let's take a look. So here's the V88 just here. It's just a standard sort of, it's the same casing as the MXQ box or the MXQ Pro and a number of TV devices. Well, I'll probably take this apart in a second, see what it looks like, because I want to show you inside here. Because one of the reasons we don't like it is because of the build quality to one side. So if we have a look, some cheap packaging there. So just the usual things, we get a remote, standard sort of IR remote there. Personally I hate these things, but there we go, you get one of them. You get I've got a UK plug. Obviously you'll get one depending on your region, where you are in the world. You also get a HDMI cable, there we go, and a useless manual. So I want to open this up now, just before we actually look at the actual firmware and stuff like that. So this is the V88 motherboard. So in the middle, obviously, we've got the Rockchip 3229 socket. We've got the NAND flash as well, so that's SK Hynix. That is clearly printed on there. Having a look at this Wi-Fi chipset, I have no idea who they are. I'd probably have to do a bit of research on what that model of Wi-Fi and brand, etc. for that. Same again for these RAM chips. There's two on the front, both 256 meg of RAM, and two on the back as well. It's made by what I can only presume is a company called Chip Trip. That it will be the board designer, a bit like Nextion, who make the B-Link motherboards. Overall, this is not bad, but on the other boards we have been looking at, on the other V88s we had, there was solder all over the board on quite a few of them. In this one it actually looks absolutely fine. There is a little bit of a burn mark just in the corner here. I'm not sure if you'll see that on camera, but just there. But apart from that, it looks okay. So there we have it. Let's move over to the firmware. So welcome to the home screen of the V88. For you guys that are interested in benchmarking, it's not something I'm interested in, it's not my cup of tea, but for you guys that want to know it, I want to quickly do that video part just now. So let's move on to the firmware and how good it is. So from what I've seen, the Play Store is now working properly. It took me a couple of reboots to get that working properly. For some reason it kept crashing on me, but eventually I think it updated itself and it sorted itself out. Now it's working fine. I can load it up and it doesn't crash. Now we installed a game, quite an intense game actually, Asphalt 8, but it's something I would expect to at least work on lower settings, but unfortunately when I click on it, it just sticks at the Game Lost splash screen for some reason. It doesn't load up any further, which is a shame. I would have liked to try that. These boxes have got joypad drivers on them, so I've got a wired Xbox 360 controller plugged into it. It's not got Bluetooth, so you can't use that, but it's got the wired ones, and the wired ones tends to be dead cheap anyway, and they work absolutely fine. It would have been good to play a few games on this, but Asphalt 8 doesn't want to work. I'd expect retro games to play just fine. Now let's have a look at YouTube, see how this runs. Now bear in mind my internet's not the fastest, so buffering's going to be a problem anyway. But from what I can see, video playback is absolutely fine. It's what I'd expect anyway. Using Kodi, for example, you should be fine using it. for most file types anyway, I'd imagine. But that's, YouTube runs absolutely fine on this. It's not the fastest and smoothest performance, but it does the job certainly. Here's Kodi, for example. We can load this up and it loads fine. Now, I've not tried build add-ons or anything like that on it. It's not something really we cover on our channel. There's plenty more channels out there to tell you about add-ons and stuff like that. So there we have it. Kodi's running perfectly fine on it. I mean, so should you buy this box? No, I don't think you should. There's too many quality control issues with the actual hardware. That soldering does give me concerns, especially where there's a fire risk. All sorts could happen with that. The firmware, it's not finished yet. It needs some tweaking, definitely. So, what would I buy this box for? Well, hopefully in time we start seeing more developments for the Rockchip 3229. That would give me, you know, the confidence in buying this, because we can play around with it then. The only thing really I've seen with this is a developer on FreakTab has actually ported Marshmallow to this processor. If you guys want to see that, then please comment in the box below and give me some feedback whether you want to see that or not. And yeah, overall, I wouldn't buy this box, not as a main box anyway. Maybe you've got a spare TV somewhere and you just want to hook up something cheap, then yeah, maybe go for this. It's certainly not, you know, shouldn't be used as your main box. It's going to drive you mad in certain areas, things just not working, etc. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like. If you didn't, give me a dislike, and we shall see you in the next one.